Hey, it's me, NT, and welcome to my preview and top tips for the incremental horror game, Execute, where you use a variety of increasingly deadly machines to kill the world's population. But don't worry, if killing over 8 billion people sounds tedious, you can automate the global genocide. If you couldn't tell by the game's premise and the warning splash screen I stuck at the beginning of this video, there's some very graphic depictions of murder in this game. Enough to make me pretty uncomfortable. Sure, it's 8-bit representations of blue people getting decapitated or fried by electricity, but these are real execution methods, and I didn't find it difficult to look beyond the abstraction provided by old video game graphics to the darkness beneath. Some people might consider this game a commentary on capital punishment, and maybe it is, but I think of it more as a horror game. Especially after I saw what happened to the bodies of all the people you executed. I almost stopped playing the game about 5 minutes in, but I wanted to give it a fair shake, and after getting somewhat desensitized to the violence, which is a whole nother conversation, the gameplay started to sink its hooks into me. I like active incrementals, and the more tabs you open on the left side of the screen, the more there is to do. You have to keep switching from tab to tab, filling up jails with prisoners to execute or send to the mines, mashing corpses to make grease, or electrocuting prisoners to build heat that fuels automation. Each machine generates resources that you can use to upgrade your death-dealing prowess. Executing people awards cash that allows you to buy more machines. Grease lets machines run faster. Zapping people to dust and compressing the ash that's left behind grants dark glass that somehow multiplies output. That sort of thing. Gameplay in the beginning is solely active play, as you can only automate one machine at a time, but as you get more and more gold, which is the game's prestige currency, you can automate more machines until you can fully play the game as an idler. Although, since I beat the game in 3.5 hours, only wandering away for a few minutes at a time, you don't have to idle in order to win. Once you unlock the nuclear options, total annihilation is within reach. Drop enough bombs to fill the atmosphere with lethal radiation, and the death rate will easily outstrip the birth rate. That is, if you can collect enough uranium by dragging magnets through the blood of your victims. The developer gave me a pre-release key, so thanks dev. But if you're interested in trying it out yourself, it releases December 16th. And if you're interested in learning about other new games, I'm releasing at least one video a week on games I find interesting. So if you haven't subscribed yet, would you hop on your pale horse and ride down to the subscription button and turn notifications on? If you're already subscribed, thank you. And if you want to support me further, there's a Ko-Fi link in the description. Now let's get to those top tips I mentioned earlier. Some machines can upgrade themselves. You can spin iron to increase max mine capacity, which allows you to mine iron faster. Once you unlock the compressor, you can spin dark glass to increase dark glass production. In both cases, you want to stop whatever you're working on to level up these upgrades when they unlock, until their upgrades start getting too expensive. Dark glass upgrades are permanent, so as soon as you unlock the compressor, you should upgrade ash efficiency about 15 times, which will give you a little over 30 dark glass per cycle. Then you can start spinning dark glass to upgrade other machines. Don't worry about prestiging until the dark glass upgrades are too expensive to continue. As soon as you unlock lightning, you can start automation, but what to automate? You begin with only one automation slot, and you require heat to run your automations, so it makes sense to automate the machine that generates heat, i.e. the lightning machine itself. Once it fills the heat bar, you can automate whatever machine you want until the heat dissipates. The mine seems to be the most efficient use of early automation since it runs faster when it's full of workers. After you unlock more automation slots through the prestige tree, I would prioritize automation in the following order: lightning, compressor, mine, grease press, and execute. Another hot tip is to download an auto clicker and let it run on an unautomated machine if you need to go idle, or to let the auto clicker build the nuke during the endgame. When you begin, the game gives you pretty good hints about when to prestige in the form of death goals. The game gives you gold whenever you murder a certain amount of people, boosting your progress in the prestige tree and queuing this times prestige. Check how much gold selling your pit will gain you, and if it's enough to get what you want, prestige. Mid-game, you can ignore these goals and focus on gaining other permanent upgrades with Dark Glass, or leveling the other 3 permanent progression tabs, Compressor, Magnet, and Nuke. Late game, you'll be getting so many kills and carrying over enough resources with the Pit Resource Transfer upgrade that you can prestige pretty much whenever you like. When I was playing, I accidentally unlocked Nuke instead of something else I wanted, so I just prestiged again a minute later to get enough gold to buy the other thing. By the by, you don't really need to worry about prestige loops where you have to prestige over and over again, because the game is so short. As for prestige upgrades, I would prioritize Jail Multiplier, Execution Multiplier, Auto Max, Pit Resource Transfer, Mega Guillotine, Instant Load, Magnet, and all the different nuclear options in the order you can afford them. If you follow these tips, it won't be too long before you've unlocked the ability to launch a large nuke that causes 1.5 billion deaths and dumps a ton of fallout into the air. I do like the little cinematics that play when you launch a nuke, and I like the final cinematic you earn for completing the game, but I'm not going to spoil that, so I'll show you my completion time instead. Hope you have a good evening, and bye!